Dear students, welcome to online classes. Today we are going to discuss about a topic concentration of solution from the lesson Is Matter Pure 9th class physics. Let us start this session with a question. If the solute particles are settling down in a solution, can we call it a homogeneous mixture? No. What would happen if you add a little more solute to a solvent? And how do you determine the percentage of the solute present in a solution? Let us say 30 grams of NaCl is added 100 ml of water. Okay, so that is the solution. And how can we get the percentage? And if more solute is added, 40 grams in 100 ml, then also we can get. Now, for this you need to know about the concentration of a solution. Can we dissolve as much solute as we want in a given solvent? No. How do you decide the amount of solute that dissolves in a solvent? So the amount of solute present in a saturated solution at a certain temperature is called its solubility at that temperature. For example, take 1 gram of copper sulfate and add 50 ml of water to it. Also take 10 grams copper sulfate and add the same amount of water. And which one of the above solution is called as dilute and which one is called as concentrated? So which contains more solute is concentrated, which contain less is called dilute. You can see in the picture. So preparation of saturated and unsaturated solutions. For that, take 50 ml of water in an empty cup, add 1 spoon of sugar to water and stir until it dissolves. Keeps on adding sugar to the cup and stir till no more sugar can be dissolved in it. And how many spoons of sugar is added? You can count.
What are we going to do today?
I want to test whether a glass of water can dissolve any amount of sugar.
What's there to check? Quite a lot of sugar can be dissolved in a glass of water.
I don't think so.
Okay then, go ahead and test it. We shall find out the truth.
This glass contains water, while this bowl has sugar.
Only this much sugar. Bring some more.
Let this much sugar get dissolved in the water first. Then I will bring some more.
Okay, let's start.
Put a spoonful of sugar into the water, miss.
See, a spoonful of sugar completely dissolved in a glass of water.
Wait, we shall add more sugar now. Miss, keep adding more sugar in the glass.
Oh no! The sugar is not dissolving in the water anymore.
Exactly. This is what I was telling you.
So it means that if we take fixed quantity of water, only a fixed quantity of sugar can be dissolved in it.
Not just sugar. Any dissolving substance will have a fixed quantity that will dissolve in a given fixed quantity of water.
That means things like salt, baking soda, etc. will also have a fixed quantity that dissolve in water.
Yes, if you want, shall we try this test with some other dissolvable substance?
Hey, if we do all the work, what will our friends do then? Friends, try this test with the other dissolvable substance and do tell us your experiences in the comment section below.
Okay, now tell me, what would you call this solution when sugar cannot be dissolved anymore in the water?
When sugar dissolved in water, a solution was created. So what else would you call it other than a solution?
It will be a solution when any substance dissolves in it. But When that substance cannot dissolve further, then it is known as saturated solution.
Saturated solution. This means that when no more sugar can be dissolved in a glass of water, the solution is now known as saturated solution.
You
Correct.
need salt, sugar, 2 glasses filled with water, and spoons. Add a spoonful of common salt in one of the glasses with water and stir it. Once the salt is completely dissolved in water, add 1 more spoon of salt in it. Stir the water again. Do you see that salt completely disappears? Add 1 more spoon of salt in it. Continue adding salt until you find that some salt remains undissolved. This is a saturated solution of salt in water under normal conditions of temperature and pressure. Note the number of spoonfuls of salt added to the water to make the water saturated. We added 5 spoons of salt. Now take the same amount of water in another beaker and make a saturated solution of sugar. Keep on adding the sugar and stirring it till the water can hold no more sugar. Remember to count the number of spoons of sugar required to make the saturated sugar solution. We added 3 spoons to make the solution. Compare the amount of common salt and sugar required to make the saturated solution. This shows that salt and sugar, though water soluble, dissolve in water to different extents and have different saturation points. After making saturated solutions, try heating those solutions and see if more salt or sugar dissolves in it. Do you know what the solution is called?
When no more solute can be dissolved in a solution at a certain temperature, it is said to be a saturated solution. In a saturated solution, equilibrium with the undissolved solute at certain temperature. If the amount of solute present in a solution is less than that in the saturated solution, then it is called an unsaturated solution. Activity 4. Factors affecting the rate of dissolving. Take 3 glass beakers and fill each of them with 100 ml of water. Add 2 spoons of salt to each beaker. Place the first beaker undisturbed. Stir the water in the second beaker and warm the water in the third beaker. And what is your observations in the above 3 situations? If you increase the temperature, then it dissolves faster when compared to the stirring and undisturbed. From this activity, we can conclude that the temperature, size of the solute particles and stirring are some of the important factors that affect the rate of solubility of solute in a solvent. You know that solubility is a measurement of amount of solute that dissolves in a solvent at certain temperature. If the amount of solute present is little, the solution is said to be dilute, and if the amount of solute present is more, the solution is said to be concentrated. So there are many ways of expressing the concentration of a solution. We learn only about 2 of these. The concentration of a solution can be defined as the amount in grams of solute present in 100 grams of solution, or the amount of in grams of solute present in 100 ml of the solution. The 3 formulas for the mass percentage of the solute, volume percentage of the solute, and mass by volume percentage of the solute. And we have an example here.